unheard of for a club, because of the sanctions, because of the rulings and the breaches, for them to be demoted out of the Premier League. There could be a ban for them not to be able to compete in the Premier League for a season or two. There could be a massive points deduction as well. There could be a hefty fine, which is what I think they will end up potentially getting. But we do have to caveat and factor in one thing as well, that we do have to factor in the fact that CAS, who was the organisation that was able to appeal on their behalf for their UEFA sanctions and the decisions that will happen there, I think they were meant to be out of the Champions League for a season with a massive fine. They've managed to reduce that fine down and were still able to compete in the Champions League after their appeal. But I do feel that this is one of those moments that we cannot go unnoticed, as what's happening at the club is crazy. I do think that there's going to be a lot of time before we see anything happen to Manchester City. I don't think it's going to be this season. I know there was a lot of banter online yesterday about, Man United and Liverpool sharing the last 6 titles that Man City have won between them, 3 apiece, but I don't see any of that happening. And, if we do that, we have to open up, another can of worms. Burnley, who I think were relegated last season, finished on 35 points. I think Leeds were 38 points and Burnley had a better goal difference. So had they not lost to Man City, they would have been still in the Premier League. So I think there's still a lot of things. You can't just give Premier League titles away. I think you can strip them 100% and then avoid the season and say that there was no Premier League winner. But I don't think you could gift it to Liverpool. You can't gift the Premier League to Manchester City. They didn't earn it. And would Liverpool fans really want a Liverpool title with an asterisk next to it to say that, we didn't actually win the league, but we were given it based on these reasons? I don't think they would. So I think, for me personally, I think Manchester City, this has been on the cards. I mean, they've breached a lot of things. We know that they've breached a lot of financial things and the constraints that they have to be within. They've obviously overset the mark a lot of the time. But I do think as well that this is something that Pep Guardiola has known about for a number of months, because even his demeanour, and if you remember back to, I think it was when he was asked this question a couple of months ago about the sanctions and the possible sanctions, and he said he believed in the club. He's treated them like a friend, and if they've lied to him, then he's going to leave the next day at the clubs. And I think he will walk. I think by the time these sanctions come in, Pep Guardiola will not be Manchester City manager. I think he'll have moved on. You do have to question if there is a transfer ban, if they have to balance out the books, if they have to, sell some of their key assets. You're looking at Haaland, you're looking at Phil Foden, you're looking at Ruben Diaz, you're looking at all these key players that they've got, Bernardo Silva, Edison, all these players. It's a massive thing. It's a massive thing. And I think it's probably come out at the right time as well, because, this season hasn't been the best for Man City, but I think at the same time as well, you don't want this creeping into the next season. You ideally want some kind of sanctions in place in the summer to allow them, to prevent them from spending any more money. I read over the weekend that they were looking at Jude Bellingham as a key signing. They thought they could pinpoint and beat the signing of Jude Bellingham ahead of Liverpool, ahead of Real Madrid. So that's going to put a spanner in those works now as well. So I think there's a lot that Man City need to be careful of. They obviously need to look at their finances now. They need to, even the statement that they put out was a bit weird. I didn't get the statement. I thought that was a bit of a weird statement to put out. But yeah, I think Man City have to be very, very careful. The next couple of months are going to be crucial for them. Even the Champions League, I mean, that's going to have another impact to that as well. So I think there's a lot that Man City need to look at. They need to hope and pray they don't get, knocked out of the Premier League, or they have to start at the bottom tier of the Football League, which would be the National League. I mean, that's an option. I mean, we have to be honest, that is an option. Whether it's a realistic one, it's still an option. So, if they have to do that, Haaland isn't going to be playing against Bromley. He's not going to be playing in the National League. He wants to be playing top football, world-class players. They're not going to want to play in the third or fourth tier of football. So I think for me, that would be worst case. I think in the realistic world, they're just going to get a massive fine, maybe a 15 to 20 points point deduction. And I think that will be it. But I would not be surprised if the FA try and make an example out of them. I really wouldn't, because they've done it to clubs in the past. You look at Juventus, as I mentioned, they were put down into Serie B for a lot of their corruption over there. So I would not be surprised if they do something similar here. But it would be unprecedented. It would be unprecedented if they do that. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what you think. And we'll be back with another video very soon. It's been Style of Pay, Theo, myself. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you smash that subscribe button as well, and also the like. And also, as I said, hit that link in the description. It will take you to our Twitter account as well. This has been Theo, Style of Play. Thanks for watching.